So you may be like, Dr. RJ, what do you mean by a one-track mind? So when I'm working with high performers and executives, often it's like the stress comes from saying either it's this or it's that, right? In psychology, we call that black or white thinking. But what it really is saying is it's a this or that and nothing in between. I'll tell you this, there's always a middle path. There's always a gray area. And we don't like the gray as high performers, but that's where your peace lies. That's where your freedom is. It's in the gray area. Now, if we're talking about mindfulness, you have your emotional mind, your logical mind. Wise mind is the middle path. It's the gray area. It's where your peace lies. It's the synthesis of both your emotional mind and your logical mind. And so when we're talking about a one-track mind, this or that, I'll give you some practical examples because I know it'll be helpful for you to use. Let's say you have a deadline for a project due tomorrow. And you also have all these other competing things that have to be done. Well, instead of saying I'm either going to stay up all night and do it or not do it at all, your middle path might be I'm going to work on it with no disturbances for 2 hours, like laser focus in, set my timer, work on this thing for 2 hours, and then evaluate or gauge where I am and then make the next step. Often high performers get to this, either this or that, and that's where stress lies, right? There's always a middle path. I tell my clients all the time, I'm like, okay, I hear you. What's the gray area? What's in between? The gray area is where your freedom is. Having a one-track mind is going to one side or another, like either this or either that. That's not the way to go, especially for high performers. There's always a gray area. There's always a middle path. So when you find yourself faced with a decision, when you find yourself with a problem, I want you to ask yourself, what could be in the middle, right? What's the gray area? What's in the middle for me? And then make your decision. We're naturally wired to go to one extreme or another. You're going to have to be intentional about finding your middle path or your gray area.